Hey everyone, welcome to Mentor Monday. Mentor Monday is our weekly microdose of encouragement, inspiration, and miracle grow on your potential as a coach. And most of the time, like every week, we're live, except for this week. We were having some technology issues with Facebook, and technology is amazing when it is working. When it's not working, it is heartbreaking. And so my heart is broken because we are not interacting personally live where I'm able to see your beautiful faces and your comments and all those other kinds of things. But I am going to ask you to throw them in the comments today, like and share this video, all of those other kinds of things. We were doing a live Q&A, and I had this question that was sent in ahead of time, and it was this: Paul, how can I get out of counseling therapy mode and stay in coaching mode? And when this individual shared this particular question, what they explained to me is that they had started out, they had thought that they were kind of launching their coaching practice and they were working with a client, and then they actually went through our training and certification and realized that they were breaking a lot of rules when it comes to coaching, in the sense that coaches are not therapists, they are not counselors, they are not advisors, they are not consultants. That's not what our role in the relationship is at all. I have aspiring coaches who contact me all the time. I probably have hundreds of conversations every week with aspiring coaches. And usually what I hear from them is, Paul, I have been giving advice my entire life, and I figure I might as well get paid for it. Or they had someone who was inspired or found them to be a helpful person, that it was a go-to person, and they would say, man, you're really good at counseling people and giving advice. You should be a coach. And so people contact us thinking that that's what a coach is, because coaching's a trendy kind of thing. Well, coaching's not those things at all. Matter of fact, if we could really just, for those of you who don't know, if I can just really quickly help you understand what the differences are. Counselors and therapists, they are a vital role for people, particularly people who need healing and need restoration in their life. Counseling and therapy has a orientation towards the past, to go back, to diagnose, and to figure out what is the root, what is the cause behind something, and to go after that thing. That's why they can get medical insurance and everything to pay for it, because we're actually looking for people who have a hurt, who have some woundedness in their life, and they need to get well. But when you go, and when you're a counselor or a therapist, you are the professional in the relationship, and you might use some techniques that look a little bit like coaching techniques, but you're the professional that is driving the entire process and guiding them through that, and also doing medical billing and all of those other kinds of things is what your practice does. Coaching does not look in the past. Coaching is very future focused. And what we would understand as coaches is that if we're constantly looking in the rearview mirror, this is why coaches don't look in the past. If we're constantly looking in the rearview mirror, then the future is going to look like the past. So coaches are occupied with the future. We are not in a fix-it mentality like counselors or therapists do. I mean, if the orientation, the focus of counselors and therapists and what they've been trained to do is to listen and diagnose and to look for what is wrong. Coaches are looking for what is right. We are very solutions focused in that kind of way. So the distinction, even though there are some things like, obviously counselors and therapists have a lot of skills that are transferable to coaches, and those are listening skills and question asking skills. It's all about the orientation and knowing what our end game is. So coaches deal with people who have their lives together for the most part. Now, when I say that, I am not saying that anyone has all their ducks in a row. You don't, I don't, no one does. But what we understand is that people are in a high degree of wholeness. They are operating in a higher emotional state, a higher physical state as far as those things are concerned. And whereas somebody over here who might be really hurting does not need to be making future decisions about their life, what we're talking about is that everybody has hurts and pains and has things that they don't like in their life. But the vast majority of people are whole enough to be able to recognize it themselves and to solve things and to move forward. And so that's what the orientation and what the focus is as a coach, is I'm not trying to be a professional in their life, and I'm not looking for the past, and I'm not looking to try to get them healed. I'm looking to partner with them. And I see this individual not as secondary, not as lower to me. I'm coming at it from the perspective of a peer. I'm not a professional in their life of fixing their life and getting it all right. What I am a professional at is breakthrough change, of being able to ask brilliant questions. And what we believe as coaches is that the individual has the keys to their future. They're the most powerful voice. They are the most influential person in their life. They have been with themselves their entire life. And so any hacking that needs to be done, they're going to be able to hack themselves with your help to move forward. Now, we are also not advisors, so we're not consultants or any of those other things. I do executive coaching and I do team performance coaching, primarily as far as my coaching practice is concerned. Now, I know why it's one of the reasons why it's very normal for people to make the mistake and slip back into counseling advising mode is that we're not too sure about what this person's thinking when we're working with them. Like, if it gets silent and that person's looking at you like you're going to give them the answer, and because the average first-year coach from any program is making between $118 to $128 per session. For Life Coach Training Institute students who graduate from our Jumpstart program, they are making between $250 to $1,000 a session. Now, I know when it gets really quiet and this individual is looking at you with deer in headlights look, that you're hearing the ticking. And what is it? It is the ticking of money that's being spent as they are sitting there, and you feel this pressure to come up with a brilliant answer. But as soon as you come up with a brilliant answer, you pull away the opportunity for that person to be brilliant. You take away that opportunity for that person to feel confident and encouraged that they actually know what to do with their life. And we pull away their autonomy to solve their own problems. I don't know about you, but I don't like people telling me what to do. That's not what's in our wiring as human beings. I don't care if it's somebody that you love. I don't care if it's your spouse. Probably even more so, you don't want your spouse telling you what's wrong with you in your life and telling you what you need to do about your life. You're like, hey, mind your own business. Even though it's your spouse, you don't want to be told those things. That's not in our wiring. And one of the things that we also know as coaches as well, and this is what all of the studies will tell you, is that people will stick to solutions that they have come up with themselves, and they will have more success with the solutions that they've come up with themselves. I told you that I do a lot of executive and team performance coaching. When I go into a company to help them be more productive, because on average we see productivity increase by about 20% with the companies that I work with. So when I go in there, they're used to working with consultants. And consultants come in there and they basically give them a blueprint on whatever they need to do. Well, it should be no surprise if you've ever worked for a company or an organization who used a consultant, no one ever follows through with what they told them to do. Why is that? Because they didn't come up with that plan and solution themselves. It's usually top management brings in a consultant telling everybody what to do, and no one's very happy about that. Because you know why? Because the average individual working every day knows what's wrong with processes, know what's wrong with goals and strategies and the lack of it, and communication and the red tape and the funkiness that's going on in the office. They're just never asked. But when they are, you watch the team come up with the solutions that will actually work for the company. So I go in there and I do that. And I remember, I tell this story often, I went into this one company. We'd been working together for a few months, and as it always happens, there's somebody who gets fired or somebody who's added to the team. So they had a person who hadn't been around the first few months. And I'm whiteboarding. I'm helping them think through and asking them great questions. And it gets to that point where it gets really quiet. Because in the point where everything gets really quiet is not the time to try to tell everybody what they should do. And that's what new coaches will do. They'll feel the quiet, and they're like, they don't know what to do. I need to bail them out. Don't bail people out. Because what I notice in a group setting is that in a team setting, that the quietest person is finally waiting on everybody to shut up, and they're about to say something brilliant. Well, in the middle of one of those times, the new person just chimed in, and they were like, well, what's the answer? When are you going to give us the answer? And somebody on the other side of the room said, he's a coach. That's not what he gets paid to do. We have the answer. And that's when they got it, is that they understood what their role was. But first time out, a couple of times out, it's normal for that individual to not quite understand what coaching is. You got to stand your ground, and you've got to stay where you're at. Now listen, it's normal to make this mistake because your whole life you've been trained to try to be brilliant and all of those other kinds of things. Let yourself off the hook. It's okay. Okay, I slipped into coaching mode. You know what I need to do is I need to acknowledge it, and I need to step back. If I notice that I'm doing it, hey, great. Stop what you're doing. Take a step back. Go back into coaching mode. It's really that simple. Number 2 is that you've got to trust the process. And I don't know that most of you, because most of you are new to coaching, have had an experience enough to see that the process works. And so when you don't trust the process, you don't trust the fact that this person's going to be brilliant, as soon as silence starts kicking in, you feel the need to bail them out because, well, they're not good. This is going to be the first, maybe this is going to be the first client ever that's kind of clueless, and I've got to bail them out. And I'm telling you, don't bail them out. Don't steal their transformation. Trust the process. If you'll be quiet, if you will step back and just ask a question and spin the plate or give them a different angle on it, I guarantee you they'll get traction again and they're going to find it. But you've got to trust the process. When do you start trusting the process? Well, you'll really have faith in the process after you start seeing it happen, after you get a client under your belt or you start working with somebody for a few months. But on the front end, to stay out of counseling advising mode, because listen, if you start there with a new client, you'll end there. And as a matter of fact, they will see less transformation going on in their life because you're telling them what to do, and that relationship will end up getting terminated. So what you've got to do is you've got to just trust the process, stay out of the way, and allow it to do what it's going to do. And that's going to build your confidence that it actually works. Number 3, don't feel the need to prove something. Again, I know when the little thing is ticking and you're making money and they don't have their solution yet. It doesn't feel good. But you got to trust the process. Listen, you are not paid to get people results. Because if you are paid for the success that a client gets, then you've got to take the failure when they don't get results. And honestly, you can never take credit for the success, just as you can never take credit for the failure as well. Listen, I can't make a client follow through with anything. I can't make them think. I can't make them want something. The only thing that I can do as a coach is to show up clear-headed, ready, focused on them, because when you are about needing to prove something, you will steal the spotlight from your client every time. You will steal the process from them every time, and you'll try to prove something. Let me prove that I'm brilliant. Let me think, and you'll actually step outside of the process even while that person's talking, and you start trying to lead and guide the process because you want them to get some kind of success because it'll make you feel better and all of those other kinds of things. Listen, the focus cannot be on you. You have nothing to prove. The focus has got to be on the client. And if you can stay focused on the client, then they are going to get the success that they really want. But even at the end of the day, as ambitious as you are and everything else, success is on the client's end. What I can do as a coach is I can show up on time every week. I will be mentally prepared and clear-headed, and I'm going to be fully engaged in everything that they say, and I'm going to ask brilliant questions, and I'm going to ask them different ways, and I'm going to believe in them, and I'm going to choose to believe the best about them, that they can come up with their own solutions, and I'm going to hold them accountable. I'm going to make sure that every session that they walk away with action steps, and I'm also going to make sure that every session I hold them accountable for what they say they want in their life, and I'm going to push them towards their greatness, and I'm going to call greatness out of them. Why? Because I'm a coach. That's what I get paid to do. If you're a coach, that's what you get paid to do. There's nothing for you to prove. Number 4 is what I would say is the 2-sentence rule. This is the practical solution that I would say will keep you out of counseling and advising mode. 2 sentences. For all you new coaches, or if you're finding yourself slipping back into things, here's the 2-sentence rule. It's very simple. Number 1, respond to whatever they have said in only 1 sentence, and your second sentence has to be a question. If you'll do that, the focus will stay on the client and you'll stay out of the way. So if you're finding yourself trying to back into things and slipping and everything else, this is the easiest way to stay focused on the client and help them get their solutions. Let me pay the bills really quickly. Now, I'm going to push you guys for a second, not real hard, but I want to tell you about our program. We are a fully online program. It's why we're so affordable. If you look at that price, it's only $195 to get trained and certified as a coach. We have year-round open enrollment. We do not have start dates. We do not have end dates. All of our program is fully online and on demand, so you can literally get enrolled in about 60 seconds, and you can begin your training. It's all on video, and at the end of each one of those modules, you're going to see some training exercises that help you experience, put into practice the core competencies of coaching that you are learning. After you complete all 10 modules that are all coach-specific training, it's going to end with an exam. When you score above 70% on the exam, it's at that point that you've earned your credential. And we also give you a number of other things because we're a very business-focused school. You're going to not only get a certificate, but you are going to get your unique credential ID that's assigned to you immediately after you pass the exam. And we even give you a social media and website integration tool to pull your credential, to pull your certificate into everything that you do for your business. That alone, just that tool alone, marketing tool alone, is worth $500 a year. We also have a free listing on lifecoachmatch.com because, again, we want to give you a directory service, again, that features you and features your business. Normally, that's about $75 a year. You get it free. But for those of you who need business development help, which is a lot of coaches, here's what I'm going to encourage you to do. Our Jumpstart program is $97 a month. It includes a life coach certification course. So you get trained, you get certified, you get lifecoachmatch.com, you get the social media integration tool for your credential, but that's not all. Jumpstart's a 20-module business development roadmap. We show you the A to Z on how to develop your business, how to discover your target market, how to discover your niche, how to attract clients, how to sell, how to answer objections. Some of you don't even realize that there are multiple ways that you can earn income as a coach. We show you how to create multiple streams of income. It's fine if you want to be a one-on-one coach, but there's so many different ways that you can actually build your business so that you can have, 5 income streams while you're working as a coach and you're not working 40 hours a week. Like I said earlier, the people who go through Jumpstart make between $250 to $1,000 per session. That's why our coaches work a fraction of the time of other coaches. You know that you can, if you have premium services, that you can make 6 figures off of only 5 clients for an entire year. It's amazing. Most of you have never heard that you can actually turn it on and you can dial in your business like that. That's what we try to do for our coaches. As you can see here, that's not all that you get. Not only is there a 20-module business development roadmap, we have a live group coaching call every week where I go live with our students who are part of the program. And I answer every business-related question, every coaching-related question. What we try to do during that time is to make sure that you get the support that you need and that you don't get stuck along the way. There's also an online community where you can get feedback on anything that you're working with, and you can also role play with other students. Again, that program's $97 a month. It includes everything. That program alone is worth a couple of $1,000s a month. Now, for those of you who think that that's a lot of money, $97 a month, this is really what you're looking at. $97 a month is what you're spending on Starbucks right now. I don't know if you realize this, but if you only spent $3.25 a day, that is $97 a month for Starbucks. And you guys, many of you are already spending more than that. If you did even your coffee intake for the month, how much you're spending, you're probably going to spend less on getting trained and certified. Jumpstart gives you all of those things. It carries a minimum 3-month commitment. You can stick around after 3 months or you can cancel at that time, but a minimum 3-month commitment. There is no program that gets you trained and certified and gives you all the help by people who are successful at doing this. I would implore you, if you go and get trained and certified at any program, ask the people who are doing the training, ask the people running the program what kind of income they are making. Make it a very pointed question, because I'm not afraid to tell people that I'm a multi-six-figure coach because I've earned it. I've worked hard. I've figured this thing out. And you need to know that you're working with people who have been successful and can help you actually build a coaching practice that is successful. Again, this is a recorded Mentor Monday today as opposed to the live. And again, I'm heartbroken, but I would love your comments. I would love your feedback. Again, our website is ilifecoachtraining.com. You can go over there, get more information. You can see tons of blogs. You can see a big archive of Mentor Monday. Like this page, follow us. And if there's any kind of feedback that you would like on anything, you get any questions, go ahead and throw it in the comments. Use the inbox button on this page. That would be super helpful. We want to connect with you. And do us a huge favor. Like this video. It tells Facebook that we're doing a good job. And share it with people that you think would find it really beneficial. Listen, I appreciate you guys all immensely. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your week. And take care.